So if any woman wants to really develop their skills and be part of a community that is very, very supporting, then Women in Localization is the right place for them.
Welcome, friends, to a new episode of Merging Minds, the podcast brought to you by BureauWorks. I'm excited as every episode to bring you a new leader of the localization industry. And today I have here one of the most known faces who is my beloved and close friend, Cecilia Maldonado. Cecilia, I am from Spain. I say, Ceci. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, mi amor, ¿todo
Hola,
bien?
amiga.
Acá, muy contenta de estar con vos.
Oh, I love it. 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 Thanks for being here with us. Like, I mean,
Oh my God, it's a pleasure.
I've been like talking to many friends, and they tell I've received very good feedback on this kind of interviews because people have told me I love to follow the podcast because you bring constantly new people that I've seen on LinkedIn or that I've heard of and that I've never known. So I'm trying to bring the human side of the industry leader, right? So I mean, for those who don't know you, who are you, Ceci?
Oh my God.
Oh
For
my
those who
God.
don't know me, I'm a translator, born and raised in Argentina, and a translator. As you know, I was educated as a translator, but then I became a business owner because there were no opportunities in Argentina to actually make any money as a translator. So I said, let's change that. And we went to the US, started looking at the US as a potential market, found out that there were many opportunities, came back to Argentina, showed people what we saw, brought some of the tools in the market, started organizing conferences, and actually bringing clients from the US to Argentina maybe 25 years ago, around that time.
That was yesterday.
So
It's
yeah,
beautiful. It's beautiful to hear. Normally, our friends come from different backgrounds. No, normally, the classical localization industry leader is somebody who comes from somewhere, lives somewhere
yes,
else, works
yes.
for a certain company, or has founded a certain company without even knowing or heard of translations, localization,
Localization. They usually
localization.
come, they end up here for a mistake or something. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
as a
yeah,
coincidence. No, no.
yeah.
I always wanted to be a translator. Let me correct myself. I wanted to be an interpreter for the UN. And then when I started working as an interpreter, I had the worst time at the booth ever. So I got really nervous. I was good, but I got really, really nervous. So I didn't enjoy it. And I'm like, okay, this is definitely not for me. And when I found out the requirements, I said, oh my God, another language? No. So I just dropped that idea and decided to become a business owner. So yeah,
Oh, wow. Oh.
yeah.
And I mean, I've known you for quite some time, and I've always cherished your entrepreneurial spirit. And for those who are
Mm,
listening or watching this, we were talking a little bit before we started recording about this precise thing. But since I wanna go deep into your journey and your experience as a leader. I know that you've co-founded and merged few companies, including Latin Waste, which is the company you're
yeah,
leading now, right? I
yeah.
want to know exactly that moment or that thing that led you to entrepreneurship. What was it? You said that about the non being enough opportunities as a translator or as an interpreter, but what really drove you to say one day, I'm done with this?
So I did start working when I was really young. I was teaching English as a second language to
You're still
kids.
very young.
And
Stop it. You're still very young. I won't let you say that.
when I say very young, I mean 17, 18, because I always wanted to make my own money. I had a mom that was very frustrated and had a
Oh,
lot to do with how strong her daughters are, like, following their dreams and not depending on somebody else to be happy or have money. So the three of us, there's three sisters, and the three of us are very, very strong professional women. And I'm very proud of that. And that's because of my mom pushed us
oh wow. That's
to that, yeah, to to that space, but because she couldn't really realize her dreams. So she made sure that we didn't end up like her, let's say.
Hmm.
So when we finished university and we started looking at the situation here in Argentina, we're like, okay, so what's next? Like, it's a big, my son graduated yesterday, finally, after 6 years in university, because it's a very long course of studies to become an architect. And it's a very, very big day, the following day, once you finish and you say, what's next, right?
Yeah,
Because you
yeah.
spend so many years in university studying, and then suddenly, what's up? What's next for me? So we were like, what are we going to do? Like, we're going to be we are going to end up being either a bilingual secretary to some, business guy, or we're going to end up teaching English as a second language again, because as Argentina is not a very diverse country in terms of languages, it's not that interpreting is very, or translation is very needed, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's a very occasional need, let's say. And when multinationals started coming here and we started opening up, then the headquarters were the decision makers. So nothing was really decided in Argentina. So definitely translation happened in the US, and then Argentina had nothing to do. So, make long story short, as I said, we started looking for opportunities. And that's sort of when you realize that you want to be independent, that you really want to create opportunities, that you really want to try things that are different, and that you don't want to end up like, what people tell you that you have to do. So
Yes.
it was a risk, but we were young. I remember one day we were teaching English, we were translating. We got this contract with an airline. It was a local airline that was hiring young people. So it was the perfect opportunity for us. And it was like three partners at the time, and we sat there with the manager, the general manager of the company, the airline, and we're like, so we're here because we know that we can train the entire company, and we can do translation, interpreting, blah 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 blah. We were so young. I'm speaking 24. I'm saying 25, and we were so self confident, and we knew what we wanted to do, and so it's that be the combination of being young and wanting something new, and not really wanting to just get a job and
Yeah.
make, and have a salary. So
Yeah. If you
it's a
compare that
personality
moment,
thing.
yeah, no, I get it, and it's super interesting, and not a lot of people and a lot of colleagues in the industry have that, and that's why I really love your personality, love what you're doing, and how you are, Ceci. Can you think
I
of
thank
like,
you.
hey, yeah, yeah, compare thinking of some of those moments in the near past. We're so young
Near
still
past,
in the near
yes, yeah.
past. And I always I like to ask this question to the guests because one of the things that I believe drags people into seeing and into knowing leaders like you is, hey, reflecting on challenges you had back then, and how you overcame those. So can you think of any particular challenge that nowadays you say like, oh my God, how did I do this thing? It was so difficult, and then I just did it. Do you remember any of those or any situations?
that that I think that the I think that I can relate to the most is having a young kid, like a very young kid. So my career started at the same time as I started as a mom. So I created my first company in 1999. That's the year my son was born.
Oh wow, okay.
So I think that that was the most challenging combination, because I had to find the time to be a mom and dedicate time and brains to my business. And then, especially when I wanted to travel, it was, complicated, the logistics and everything, the guilt, working around with the guilt moms usually have when they have to leave their kids behind and do things. And the other challenge that I would like to mention is the way some of the women, especially, looked at me
Mm-hmm.
because I left my kid behind to go travel the world and find business opportunities. So it took a lot of educating my own friends, some of the people I was close with, and explaining why it was important to be a role model for my son, and then now my daughter, that anybody, regardless of gender, they can do whatever they want. And
Mhm.
because you're a mom, you don't have to stay home. And because you're a mom, you can still follow your dreams and do whatever you want. So I think those, that was a thing at the time.
We're both from Spanish speaking countries, from Latin countries, from very, let's
Yes.
say, Christian Catholic
Chauvinist.
backgrounds. Yes, and those
Yes,
things happen, right? Maybe to our friends uh, listening and following the United States, that might not be the case, but
exactly.
you need
Yes,
to we need to consider those things, take those things into account, right? Also
yes,
the social guilt of being
ex-
a parent and not being there, the burden that can take to one's life and career, right? So anyway,
yes.
on top of that, you mentioned this. We've been speaking about being a female entrepreneur, right? And
Yeah.
one of the coolest things I've seen in the industries, the guilds, the associations, the people that get
Mm-hmm.
together. Right? And I really been a big fan of women in localization since the day I entered this industry. Yeah. Almost 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
It's helped me. It has helped me get to know a lot of people, male, female, anybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
helped me a lot. Networking it has helped me bring in business opportunities to the companies that I've been working for, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you've been the president of Women in Localization, right? What
Yes.
inspired you to
Yes.
get involved with the organization and to be there?
Well, I was invited by a friend, Maria Kanya, and she's like, I have the perfect opportunity. She sold the opportunity. It's a volunteer opportunity, right? And she sold it to me. So then I met, it was to work with Anna at the time, Anna Schlegel, and in her program. And I learned so much from the first few meetings that I was like, okay, this is something that I want to do. And what I love the most about Women in Localization is the opportunity to learn while volunteering. So it's very different to many of the, I would say, feminist organizations, or organizations that fight for women's rights. We don't necessarily do that kind of advocacy. Train we create leadership positions for women to train and develop leadership skills on the job. And at the same time, they have the opportunity to be seen, how they work, how they communicate, how they spend their time, how they act or react, or behave in a meeting, and network and show what they can do. So if any woman wants to really develop their skills and be part of a community that is very, very supporting, then Women in Localization is the right place for them.
I love
And
what you just said about this, and sorry to stop you there because
that's okay. I can talk for hours, so you
I
can
know, I know, I know,
the two
and
of us are terrible.
yes, no, Victoria, yeah. But the things that it's very interesting what you mentioned about helping people to develop their skill, helping people to develop in their work roles. But now that I think of it, you, Anna, and a few of the members there, you're entrepreneurs. Are you also helping women in becoming entrepreneurs within the industry, or starting in the industry and go outside? Do you also do
Of
that?
course, of course. I mean, and we talk about individuals in general. This is a question of wanting, and this is part of the education I was talking about with many of my friends. So it's very easy, and many times I blame women, and I know this is kind of controversial, but I blame some of my friends for their situation because they don't want to work hard enough to go somewhere else, or they are too comfortable where they are. And getting out of your comfort zone, as much as it sounds like a cliche or whatever, it is true. It takes hard work, it takes long hours, and it is something that you need to do if you want to change things. So with the organization is exactly the same thing. Anyone that joins the organization can go up or can stay like neutral. They can learn as much as they want. So if you take advantage of the opportunities the organization provides, then you can do great things. If you want to join and just listen in, perfect. We don't we don't push people to, do more. We just
Mhm,
provide the platform for them to take
mhm,
advantage of it. And then we put them in places where they have connections like Anna, like Allison, like Eva. I mean, getting to know these women and having the opportunity to be in a meeting with them and learn from them, how they communicate, how they lead a meeting. These are women that are part of amazing corporations.
mhm, 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 mhm. No, it's
So
super
how
interesting.
how on earth can you learn if
Yeah,
you
no,
you know?
you will definitely learn. But are you also promoting entrepreneurship? That's what I meant. Like, are you guys like saying, "Hey,
Oh,
like, I'm just an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur. Hey, you guys, if you get tired, you get stuck there in your jobs or in this moment of your life, get off your comfort zone, do this, do that." Another thing, let me also play the devil's advocate here. Does everyone
okay.
have the same opportunities, or is everyone able to create the same opportunities equally? Like my life, our lives. I know you, you're a friend, and you know me. It's about
I'm
creating opportunities.
privileged.
These
Yeah.
opportunities, we're privileged, but we've privileged at a certain level. We've been brought here by our own work, right? By the things we do, by the networking we've had, by everything. Is that something that you also help promote? Like tell them, hey, get out of your comfort zone. Don't forget about the opportunity creation.
Yeah.
Is the key in life. Is the key in for you to get a better job, for you to build your company. Tell me about this.
Of course, we do it as an organization and we do it individually. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's, at least for me, I've been doing that ever since I started out with the conferences that we organized. Imagine that the first translation conference there was in Argentina was organized by me and my partners at the time. And
Wow.
the presentation that we created, that we were young and we talked to people, and the presentation was about how to survive as a freelance translator. So we have always been promoting uh, the opportunity to do whatever you want, whether it's in a company or as an entrepreneur. Not everybody has the personality, let me put it
Mm-hmm.
that way, to be an entrepreneur. And I understand that. Okay. But again, as an organization, what we do is we have not only the global community that brings people in to talk to people and, promote um, different ways to do things, talk about their journeys and share success stories. Also, the mentorship program where whoever wants to do something different can have the chance to be matched with a person who did a
Mm-hmm.
similar journey so that they
Mhm,
can learn from that person. But also, we have more than 27 chapters around the world that they create local communities where they can go to, where they can learn from, where they can connect with other women and companies in the area and see what they're doing. And in fact, in Argentina, I would say in Argentina, what I've seen is a, an amazing growth of entrepreneurs. Like I started my company, as I said, 25 years ago. Many of the women that I worked with are today business owners.
mhm,
I would
mhm,
say
mhm.
80%.
Wow.
So that's why, and that explains the growth of the number of translation companies you can see today in Argentina.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. No, that's very
There's
interesting.
so many,
That's very
so
interesting.
many.
So you also, it's very interesting to
So
hear
they
that.
choose, they
Yeah,
choose that path.
nice, 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 nice. And Thethi, it's amazing. You're involved in women in localization. You have your own company. You travel a lot. You do. You were yesterday at the at the graduation of your son. It's incredible. How on earth do you manage and balance that entrepreneurial life with private life? Like, tell us how you do this.
Oh my God.
Ah,
It's nice. I mean, it's a day by day thing. I am very organized in terms of how I, organize my day. And of course there are priorities. I really want to, I've always said that I would become a fitness, a guru or, become fitness blah at 50. I'm not going to make it. Like I have to choose. I mean, I can hardly make it to the gym twice a week with all the traveling And of course, I have a 25-year-old and I have a 12-year-old. So the 12-year-old still needs a lot of mom time. So when I travel. But when I'm home, I do a lot of the things that I am supposed to do, like take her to sports and be with her and have dinner and all these things. And we share time together. So it's a question of balance. Like, you organize your week, or you say, okay, this week I need to do some social life, and then you create the moments. I have a lot of different groups of friends, and there's always invitations, and I think it's something important about your personal history. I lost my mom when she was 49, so that's exactly my age. Okay, and if I go back and think about someone dying at 49, which is, I'm sorry to be so sad, but it's it puts some perspective there. So it has made me enjoy every single day. Like I don't have these thought of, oh, there's so much, life is so long, like, we still have tomorrow. So I that was the game changer for me. So I
Wow.
live every day as if it were my last day on earth. If I
Yeah.
have opportunities, I don't let them go. If I
Yeah.
can, have fun today, it's today. I don't really plan future. I'm the worst of that.
It's
But
very interesting
that's
because now a lot of people speak about work and life balance, and like there's gotta be some point work and life balance. But if you have to go to that, is that you hate your work life. I think I think I love what I
exactly.
do. I
I love
believe
what I
so. Right?
do.
Yes, and
I
I
love it.
yes
And there's so many people that don't really find what they want to do. And that's
yes.
because I usually talk about personal branding. I have a presentation that I really enjoy giving because it's basic concepts that not many people know about. But what's the basics of personal branding? It's knowing yourself. And
Mhm,
in order to know yourself, there's a lot of work internally that you have to
mhm,
do. So either go to a shrink or do some meditation or whatever. There's a personal internal path and work that you need to do in order to know who you are, what you want, and what makes you happy. If you know that, everything becomes a lot easier.
yeah, yeah,
Your
yeah,
decisions are easier.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
not pushed by society or social pressure, or you choose based on what you want.
Yeah, yeah. I'm thankful you've shared this with us, and I'm thankful you've shared about the loss of your mom. I remember like when I was 25 and I had my first job. I moved to Germany back in the day, and I remember my boss saying, he was an older man in his 70s, and he said like, "Hey, there's only one moment in your life, and I will never forget this quote, in which you really become an adult, is with the loss of your parents." I still
Hmm.
have my parents around,
Yeah.
so I
So
guess
you're not an adult yet?
I'm not an adult yet, and I hope I'm not for many years, Teddy. And oh, this
Oh,
it's
oh, I'm a grandmother at this point then.
oh no
Well,
no
the
no
funny
no
thing is I became a mom when I lost my mom.
yeah
So
wow.
that kind of, I think that life has a funny way, and the birth of my son gave me the strength to continue, move on, and
Mhm,
and deal with everything. But at the same time, the loss of my mom at such a young age made me realize that you can't take life for granted, that opportunities are not always there for everybody. And you were mentioning before, do we all have the same opportunities? Of course we don't, but we are responsible for going out and going after them, right?
mhm,
um,
mhm,
there's always something out there if you really want it. You just
mhm,
have to go out and try to find it. It's going to be hard, yes. And we do sales, and we're very used to the no's, and we're very used to rejection. So I suggest that people practice that a little bit more and be
mhm,
less
mhm.
scared of that, because
Oh
it's not
yeah,
the end of the world.
it's not the end of the world.
Exactly.
It's not the end of the
It's
world. It's
not
not
the
the end
end
of
of
the
the
world.
world.
And
Exactly.
in a business context, in a particular context as well. Like, and this comes a lot, and this is it's you've heard it a lot of times, like in relationships, in friendships, like, oh, I've only had like 5 friends in my life. Yeah, because you haven't gone out there and talked to more people. I've only
Exactly.
had 2 girlfriends in my life. Yes, because you haven't gone out there and talked to more girls or to more men, right? It's I guess that's
There's
it's Yeah, they're not being
Funny
scared of
'cause
saying no, right?
oh my God. And even I shared a post on LinkedIn not long ago. I think it was around April, where I shared some of the takeaways I took from the person that was flying next to me, an old woman from Germany
Oh,
to
yes.
Argentina. Okay. The lessons that you can learn from random people in your life. I mean, just because I gave myself the chance to talk to somebody new on the plane. I mean, I was stuck there for 12 hours. What am I supposed to do? Just sleep and watch movies? I had a fun time talking to this lady and I learned so much from her. So, people, talk to people, open up, don't be scared, don't be shy. There's nothing to lose, right? So, it's all about, working through your personality to feel more comfortable at doing things that you don't feel very comfortable at doing. Not, because it's us, totally extroverts, and there's other people who really struggle with doing things like that. But if practice getting out of your comfort zone, then it gets easier, let's say,
Mhm,
right?
mhm. Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense for every aspect in life, and not only for the business and the job part, right? So,
Of
I gotta
course,
ask you as
of
well,
course.
like you're a leader, you're also mentor. I know you mentor people, and
Hmm.
but I think mentoring, from my perspective, doesn't it's not depending on age, right? There could be somebody that's
Yeah,
23 years old, so to say, and be teaching you about technology, football, or whatever, right? There might be something that is somebody that is 72 and might be teaching you about experience in life, whatever, right? You're a mentor, you mentor people, but can you name us or think of like 2, 3 figures that are key in your life now that have inspired you, known and not known to us? You can like somebody in the industry, somebody that is famous, or somebody
yeah.
in your family.
Before I go there, let me add that you can always be a mentor to someone. It doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily, it's not a question of experience or age. I mean, you can always be a mentor to someone, older,
yeah.
younger, less experienced, more experienced in different aspects. Um, I think I'm going to stay with my mom as being the biggest pusher or a role. I wouldn't say role model, but the person that inspired me. So I would say my parents in general, because I there's a nice combination there. So my dad is a super well-known professional and very, very responsible professor at the university, um, hard worker, studied a lot during his life, still does at 76. And my mom, at the same time, a very, frustrated person who, chose marriage over her life. So the fact that I saw my dad, work so hard to go where he wanted to go, and the fact that I saw my mom not have what she wanted was sort of the perfect combination for me to be who I am.
Thanks for
And
sharing
my mom is an inspiration because she really worked at like
Yeah.
put it in our brains. Do never depend on a man. Never depend on a
Our
man.
parents, our biggest source of inspiration, while at the same time our biggest sources of trauma, right?
Exactly. Oh my God. Therapy
Oh,
every single
oh.
month and talk about that. Yes. What is it that you don't want to repeat? Yes, of course. We're always going to make mistakes and of course we're not perfect. But if I had to name someone that inspired me to or is responsible for who I am is definitely them.
Okay, I just have one more question, Tati, because like
Definitely.
I love talking to you, and we could be here for the 3 hours, and people say like, "Ah,
I
make it
know,
a
I know, I know, I know.
But I was thinking of a video I saw on Instagram the other day, in which like there's been this comeback now recently between Mike Tyson and this influencer. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of that, but
Uh-huh.
there was this kid that asked Tyson, "Hey, what kind of legacy do you want to leave once you're gone?" And it's like, I don't care about legacy. Legacy is irrelevant to me. I'll be a corpse. I'll be dead. Wow. And I was
Oh
like, oh my
wow.
God. Yeah. While on the other side, there's a lot of people like Rafael Nadal, the tennis player who retired yesterday, who was speaking about how proud he was of the legacy he's going to leave to the world of sports and tennis, right? Two sportsmen,
Hmm.
right? With two opinions. What kind of legacy would you like to give? And give me any answer you want, huh? In this
I know, I
industry.
know, I know. No, the only, and not because I don't care about people, but in general, I think that my dad taught me reputation. So I'm really serious about my reputation. So being a good person, doing good. So those are the things that I really want to be remembered for, let's say. But what I'm more interested in is my kids. So what they think about me. And if they want to share with me, they want to share time with me when I'm old, I'm going to be happy.
Mhm.
So I would summarize it at that. Yeah,
That's
they are
beautiful.
the most important people in my life. So yeah,
That's
there's
beautiful.
that's the legacy that I'm interested in. Yeah.
Well, friends, I mean, it's been a pleasure. It's been great. It's so funny. It's like I love to talk to you, Steffi. You're just such a good
We laugh.
friend.
We laugh.
We
Yes.
laugh. We plan on conquering the world. We're like evil, good at the same time. We help, we destroy. And it makes it natural, right? So I'm so thankful for your time. Thanks for being here. Thanks for
Very
talking to
welcome.
all the Emerging Minds community. And I hope to see you very soon again, my friend. And to all of you
Of
watching, thanks
course.
until a new episode of Emerging Minds soon with a new leader. Bye.